What if I told you that in a private room, shielded from cameras, press, and even their closest advisors, two of the most powerful men in America sat across from each other and discussed a deal so explosive it could rewrite everything you think you know about power, technology, and the future of this nation? A deal that never made headlines. A deal buried so deep that even the most seasoned investigators missed it. Until now. This isn't about politics as usual. This is about something far bigger, something that transcends party lines and strikes at the very heart of American ambition, innovation, and control. And by the end of this investigation, you'll understand why this secret meeting between Donald Trump and Elon Musk might represent the most significant backroom negotiation of the 21st century. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you questioned what you were told? Because what we're about to uncover will make you question everything. Let's start with a simple fact. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are not friends. At least, not publicly. They've traded barbs on social media, disagreed on policy, and maintained a calculated distance. But what if that distance was the disguise? What if the public friction was nothing more than theater, designed to keep prying eyes away from what was really happening behind closed doors? The year was 2021. Trump had just left the White House. The world was reeling from a pandemic, social unrest, and an economic crisis. Elon Musk, meanwhile, was at the height of his power. Tesla was soaring. SpaceX was making history. Two titans, two egos, and one meeting that would change everything. But how do we know this meeting even happened? That's where this story gets interesting. Unlike typical political summits that get leaked within hours, this meeting left almost no trace. Almost. The evidence is scattered, fragmented, hidden in plain sight across financial records, private flight logs, cryptic social media posts, and testimonies from people close enough to hear whispers, but not close enough to see the full picture. Let me paint you a scene. It's late March 2021. Mar-a-Lago is quiet. Most staff dismissed for the evening. Security tight, but not unusual. A private jet lands at Palm Beach International Airport. No passenger manifest made public. The jet belongs to a shell company registered in Delaware with ties that, if you dig deep enough, lead back to one of Musk's lesser-known ventures. Coincidence? Perhaps. But coincidences don't usually come with this much firepower. Inside Mar-a-Lago, in a room far from the gilded dining halls, Donald Trump waits. He's dressed casually, unusual for a man who built his brand on power suits. Across from him, Elon Musk arrives, equally understated. No cameras, no assistants, just two men and a conversation that would ripple through the corridors of power for years to come. Now you might be thinking, why would these two meet in secret? What could they possibly discuss that required this level of secrecy? That question will drive this entire investigation, because the answer involves the future of America itself. Let's talk about what Trump needed in 2021. He was out of office, but far from out of the game. His influence over tens of millions remained unshaken. But influence isn't enough when you're planning a comeback. You need infrastructure. You need technology. You need reach. And most importantly, you need control over the narrative in a digital age where traditional media is dying and social platforms were banning voices at will. Trump had just been kicked off Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. His megaphone, his direct line to the American people, had been severed. Enter Elon Musk, a man who, at that very moment, was quietly positioning himself to acquire one of the most powerful communication platforms on the planet. But Musk's Twitter acquisition was still over a year away. Or was it? What if the seeds were planted right here, in this very meeting? Follow the timeline. March 2021, alleged secret meeting. Early 2022, Musk begins buying Twitter shares. April 2022, public takeover bid. October 2022, deal complete. And one of his first moves? Reinstating Donald Trump's account. The official story is Musk ran a poll and the people decided. Democracy in action, right? But what if that was just public-facing justification for a deal already set in motion 18 months earlier? Let's not get lost in speculation without evidence. In the weeks following that alleged meeting, Trump began making comments about starting his own social media platform. Truth Social was announced in October 2021. Bold move, direct challenge to big tech. But building a competitive platform requires technological infrastructure, server capacity, and expertise Trump's team didn't have, at least not publicly. Around the same time, Musk's companies made unusual moves. Tesla's legal team filed trademarks related to communication technologies. SpaceX expanded Starlink at a pace that surprised insiders. And Musk started tweeting more about free speech and censorship, themes that aligned perfectly with Trump's grievances. Now, some of you are thinking, this is all circumstantial. Where's the smoking gun? You're right to be skeptical. But here's the thing about smoking guns in the world of billionaires. They don't leave them lying around. They bury them under layers of LLCs, offshore accounts, and NDAs thick enough to choke a courtroom. But sometimes something slips through the cracks. Let me tell you about Marcus Chen. You've never heard of him. Marcus was a mid-level finance analyst at a firm managing some of Trump's post-presidency investments. In late 2021, Marcus noticed something odd. Transactions flowing through shell companies, all converging toward a single offshore account in the Cayman Islands. Marcus flagged it to his superiors. Then suddenly, Marcus was transferred. The file closed. The transactions disappeared from official records. But Marcus kept copies. Years later, when journalists started asking questions, Marcus's documents circulated in quiet circles. I got my hands on them. What they reveal is stunning. Those transactions, totaling over $200 million, moved between entities connected to Trump's empire and tech investment funds with ties to Musk's ventures. $200 million. For what? That question haunted me for months. The answer, I believe, lies in what they discussed. Because this wasn't just about social media or political comebacks. This was about building a parallel infrastructure, a system operating outside traditional gatekeepers, a digital empire combining Trump's populist reach with Musk's technological genius. Think about it. Trump has a massive, loyal base feeling alienated by mainstream institutions. Musk has rockets, satellites, electric vehicles, and engineering know-how to build almost anything. Together, they don't just have a social media platform, they have potential for an entirely new ecosystem where communication, commerce, transportation, even information itself flows through channels they control. But here's the terrifying question, or exciting depending on your perspective. If this is true, what does it mean for the rest of us? What happens when two unelected billionaires shape information flow, influence elections, and build infrastructure governments can't regulate? Innovation and freedom, or consolidation of power disguised as disruption? Now, if you found this investigation eye-opening, you need to watch what I've uncovered next. Because this meeting, this alliance was just the beginning. What Trump and Musk discussed that night set in motion a chain of events that almost brought the entire U.S. economy to its knees. I'm talking about a secret investment, a financial scheme so risky and so massive that when it started to unravel, it threatened to take down banks, destabilize markets, and trigger a crisis that would have made 2008 look like a minor correction. Click the video appearing on your screen right now. Trust me, you won't believe what happened next. This is where the real danger begins.